friends, Sebastian here. So a little while ago, I got a comment on a video asking to see more of the lead side of the guitar playing space, or at least my approach to it. I don't have a radically different approach to it. I do have two things in mind, basically, which is what this video will be talking about. And those are going to be kind of a more traditional lead style playing. This is going to be like the bigger kind of reverbs and delays and drive specifically. We're going to talk about a kind of like more nuanced in the background type of playing, kind of invisible, but still kind of finding your way in the mix. And a third one that we're going to save to the end, and it's what to do when you have another guitar player on stage, but we'll discuss that at the end. So we are in the Cortex control app, and just to let you know in the beginning, I am running the PRS Custom 24 today, loaded with the Lambertons Cremas in there, so just be mindful of that. That's the type of guitar and the type of sound that I am using today. So let's listen to how this guitar is sounding, kind of dry-ish, just to give you a nice bass line. So that is the bassline tone that we are working with. So let's go into that first kind of invisible, kind of in the background playing. So this is what you would be doing. Let's say that there is a rhythm guitar player, acoustic, piano, full band, right? And there's not really necessarily space for a guitar to start doing a whole bunch of different things. While a lot of people might default to swells, and that's definitely a way to do it, I feel it's a little bit overused, although it's kind of become part of the worship genre, if as it were. But I like to find a way to add a bit more a percussive element into it. So this is the type of sound that I would be looking for if I'm, working with another guitar player and things like that in the mix. So that type of playing, I would be using that kind of like to fit more in the background, and I can get a little bit larger. You'll notice that I don't really have drive on, although I can kick it on, and I'll show you in a second. I would be looking for, let's say, the melody line of the vocal. I would be looking for the piano lines of what they're doing, and I would just be looking to imitate that. So something like... So with that chorus, so we're spreading it nice and wide, the vibrato is giving us a little bit of movement, so we don't have to, be using our Bigsby or our rhyming, things like that. Just kind of keep it nice and consistent. You can program that to the timing of the song, of course. I don't have it programmed to the timing. I just have a specific rate that I particularly like. So let's listen to that again, but just like with the big one, and let's actually kick on a little bit of drive. So something like that where we're not super in the way. And again, you're just kind of finding your place in the mix. Okay, so soloing or not, well, yeah, soloing or lead type of example number 2. And we are going to be talking about that kind of more traditional big lead sound. Again, we're actually gonna look at it without the modulation, although you can use that to emphasize certain things. I'll go ahead and add the poly octaver here, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about the misconception that when you're doing a big lead line, you're gonna use a lot of reverb and delay. We're gonna compare a solo from Montesanto. I'm gonna play it once, kind of with the small reverb and the big reverb, and you can see just how big of a difference this makes. So this goes like this. Now let's listen to that again, but with the bigger delay and reverb. While it might be tempting for you to go to that second one where it's like big and huge and large, here is the problem. You are more than likely playing in a place that already has reverb, it already has delay inside the room, kind of baked in, right? It's not a perfect room, unless you're playing in some sort of super treated room every Sunday. So the problem with option B, and you can definitely use it, option B is going to give you a lot of sustain and a lot of different things like that, but that is more often than not going to work against you because people aren't hearing what you're hearing inside your ears. They're hearing what is the mix of the entire room. So you have drums, you have bass, you have all these things. So guitar is not the forefront of the mix, right? There are other elements inside of that mix. And because you're running to run of house with all this reverb and all this delay, it's just bogging down the entire mix. And what'll happen is instead of putting you up, they're going to bring you down. So the number one tip is if you want to emphasize the guitar, you need more guitar and less effects in your mix. Hey, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to take a second to ask you if you are liking the video so far, please like and comment and share and all that good stuff, all the engagement things. Links down below. Let's get back to the video. Super secret third option in terms of lead, and that is to essentially play rhythm. And what I mean by that is this is going to require you have a conversation with the other guitar player in your band, assuming that there is one. And it's going to be a conversation of, what is that person planning on playing, in that particular Sunday or that event that you're playing. And if they are going to be, let's say, playing kind of bigger, let's say those cowboy chords, right? If they're doing something like that, then it is totally acceptable to have a lead line where you're maybe just doing a lot of rhythm stuff. So lead doesn't necessarily have to just be melody all the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be, soloing all of the time. You can have a lot of really cool lead lines or lead parts that are just filling out the mix in different ways. So let's take an example of what I would be doing if the song doesn't really have like specific lead lines and things like that, and I want to play a more rhythm style of lead. So what I'm doing there is I am playing in third position, power chord, triad position thing. This is not a guitar tutorial channel, so I'm sure you can find out that information somewhere else. But basically what I'm trying to do is, like, if the other guitarist, let's say, is, what was I playing? A, F sharp, E. So he was doing... You can do that, the same thing, just up here, and it adds a different texture. So that is one way that you could play lead, where you're really going to take a hold of your part of the mix because the guitar is on the other guitar player is on a completely different side of the neck, and that is going to open up the mix to you in the sense where you'll be able to play a little bit higher without maybe going up to here where you're maybe being a little shrill. Where in that same example, it would totally be up to you if you want to play something like, for example, like, and that can be an example of what you're doing as well. Again, it's all just going to be context dependent, and it's going to involve you talking with your other guitar player and not just doing things in a vacuum. And there you have it. That is my current approach to lead playing. So those three concepts of that kind of more in the background style playing, that in your face kind of solo section playing, and also kind of a bonus rhythm lead style hybrid type of thing. If you really like that style, you'd probably be a big fan of the Edge. That's a lot of the things that he does, and that's where most of us get things like that, ideas like that. So if you like this video, if you like the content, I would encourage you, please drop a comment down below. Please leave a like and share, all that good stuff. All the engagement helps the channel. If you have video suggestions like this one from that commenter, feel free to drop it down below. As always, the links to download the Quad Cortex preset is going to be down below. Remember that you do have to add your drives and things like that. I'll leave in the description below the drives I'm using so you can look for captures on those as well. But that's going to do it for me. See you next time.